Hi, this video is the demonstration of stand and pivot transfer from your resident who's in the bed into a wheelchair. For the record, they do not have a weak, strong side because that would be important in the real world if that's what you're doing and getting them up. But that is not part of this skill for headmaster. So they have equal strength, but they cannot walk. So that's again what ambulate means. They cannot ambulate. They can stand and they can pivot, and that plays a very important part. And in this skill, I always stress safety, 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 safety. What are things we're gonna do to make sure they're safe when transferred? So now I'll begin. We knock here, and she says,
come in.
And I sanitize my hand and I say, good morning, McKenna. My name is Chris, your CNA. How are you today?
Good.
Good. Okay, well, I am here to get you up in the wheelchair. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Okay, so provide for privacy. I'm gonna need either gripper socks or shoes, and McKenna here has shoes. I'm just gonna move them a little off to the side. I'm gonna need a gait belt for this. And thinking safety, okay, the first thing I can see right away is that the lock on the bed is not. So if you wanna get this at a good angle, if this break, every bed is a little different, you guys, so, but you need to know where your bed breaks are located. This one, if it's up in the air, it is not locked and it needs to be. Bold step, okay. So push down and you'll hear a click. Now it's locked. Okay, that's step one for safety. The other one, I can see you're just a little bit up in bed. I'm gonna lower it all the way down because your feet must touch the floor once I get you up. Okay, headmaster says in the skill that I must assist you to a sitting position. There are many ways to do it, you guys. This is just a hint in how I would do it in the working world. And that would be to work smarter and not harder. So McKenna, I'm just gonna raise your head of bed so I don't have to like kind of crank on you to, behind your neck when I'm pivoting you. Does that make sense to you? Okay. See, this way I'm gonna have you already kind of sitting, and then it's more of a swirl, spin. Okay. So I'm gonna remove your covers, okay? And I'm going to put one hand behind your shoulders, if that's okay, and one under the knees, and we're gonna spin to the edge of the bed here. 1, 2, 3. Do you see how I didn't have to do the lifting of her head, okay? Now I wanna make sure your feet are on the floor, okay? Yep, okay. Also, whoop, you just stay right there. I wanna point out to students, the steps say bring in the wheelchair and put it right there. I am gonna do that, but I didn't do it yet on purpose because I had to spin her legs. I don't want her legs to hit the wheelchair. Does that, hopefully that makes sense to you, okay? Now I'm gonna bring the wheelchair in and put it to a slight angle and do the other steps. If I could have put the wheelchair here and then, sat her up, she went to kick the wheelchair, that would have been good, but when you have this big stand here, then the wheelchairs, it just doesn't work, okay? So when you're doing these skills, keep in mind you've got some playroom on how you do it. One was like putting head of bed up and spinning that way. It doesn't specifically say that. That's a hint from me to you, okay? The other one is this whole wheelchair business. Now I'm gonna bring it close, but actually I'm still not in a big hurry to get that just perfect yet. I'm gonna put a gait belt on, and I'm gonna put her shoes on and really think through. Okay, gait belt, if you would zoom in, the secret to any gait belt is to find what I call the teeth on the buckle. See the buckle? You want the teeth become important. So, and how I'm gonna put it around her waist and come this way so the teeth grab it first. If you're struggling, because a lot of students get nervous and you're like, oh my gosh, where are the teeth? She was talking about, like, if you start off like this, the teeth are over here, that won't work, okay? Guess what? Turn it around. There it is. Just turn it around, okay? So now I'm gonna put it around her waist. That's important, waist. I like to do this to make sure it doesn't twist on me. I don't want it twisted in the back, okay? You can say arms up there, lovely McKenna. Okay, here I go. I'm going through the teeth. Do you see how I went underneath? And the point of the gait belt, you guys, if you want to really talk legalities, this is your grip on the patient. You, resident, you do not want this thing loose. Yes, I want her to be able to breathe, but this is my grip, and I don't want it loosey-goosey. And if you're one of my students, no loosey-gooseys, okay? So tight, and put it through the other end. And how do you know if it's too tight or too loose? Well, one, I'm gonna ask her, how you doing? Is it too tight?
No.
You should be able to put 2 fingers in, and yet I feel like I have a really good grip on her, and that is so important, okay? So I got this on. We need your shoes on. For sake of speed, she's just gonna slip them on for me. Okay. Thank you, resident. Okay, she's on the edge of the bed. The bed's locked. She's sitting up. She has her gait belt. Okay, now I'm gonna bring this as close as I can. It should be touching, but remember, she can't walk. Here's the other bold step. 2 bold steps in this one, I think. Anyway, make sure each brake is locked. Each wheel has a brake. It's gotta be on, okay? Nice and close by. She's not gonna walk. Now, here's what I'm gonna have you do, okay? To sit you up, I'm gonna grab under on each side. You can do one of 2 things, resident. You can push off from the bed, or you can put your hands up on mine to push off, whichever works for you. But I'm gonna tell you on the count of 3, we're gonna stand up and just stand, okay? 1, 2, 3. This is always the point. Just trust me on this, I'm an old nurse. At this point, if they're dizzy at all, I'm gonna sit her right back down. Are you feeling okay?
Yes.
Okay, now we're just gonna turn, and you can use your arm to touch this. Okay, ready? Turn, and down. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna remove my gait belt. Okay, and then I'm gonna make sure she has her call light. I bet you would like to watch TV and not stare at the end of your bed. So look at what I'm gonna do. You don't have to do this. This is not in the skill, but it seems weird to have your resident staring at her own bed, right? So I'm just gonna move her closer. Now you can see people come in. Okay, these are just little extra things. You don't have to do it, okay? But I'm gonna lock these again. And your call light is here, okay? Do you need anything else? Okay, then I'm gonna sanitize my hands, and that should be the end of the skill.